if you're confirmed, will the Justice Department jail reporters for doing their jobs? Now, Barr, like all these weasel fuckers who go to work for Trump, and anyone who goes to work for Trump at this point, is either a liar like he is, a con artist like he is, someone who's in it for his own pocketbook like he is, or somebody who has no ethical or moral core like Trump. Like attracts like. People are not going to go to work for Trump with the idea that they can contain this fucking insane man, because after 2 years it's very clear that nobody can, short of a straitjacket. So William Barr, who served George H.W. Bush, is going to be the next Attorney General. And he's made it clear that he's going to operate outside the law. Barr didn't give a direct answer to Amy Klobuchar, but he finished his response by stating that prosecuting reporters would be what he calls a last resort, end quote. That could happen, especially if a news outlet has run through what he calls a red flag. Barr also faced questions about how he would oversee Mueller's investigation. Barr told senators he would not be bullied into interfering with the Mueller investigation. There's a little piece of bread that he tosses to the Democrats. Barr said, quote, "I will not be bullied into doing anything I think is wrong." Well, that's kind of a qualified answer, isn't it? He said, by anybody, whether it be editorial boards, ooh, there's that anti-press bias again, or the Congress or the president, I'm going to do what I think is right. A last resort, if a news outlet ran through a red flag. Where does it say that in the First Amendment that protects the freedom of the press? Where does it say that? Where does it say specifically this necessity for an independent press in order for the survival of a democracy, or the kind of government we, the framers, are giving you? Where does it say, where did they add, unless you run through a red flag? Or as a last resort, we may put your asses in jail. Where does it say that? Where does it imply that? I could ask the same thing about the Second Amendment. Where did the framers say that unlimited firepower belongs to every American citizen? When they wrote the Constitution, they were using muzzle loaders, for fuck's sake. That takes 3 or 4 minutes between rounds. These goddamn Republicans, Barr included. Fuck him. He's going to be just another one of the Trump fascist enablers. That's all Trump can hire. And the Senate will confirm him. This filthy Republican Senate will confirm him. Now, another piece, this appeared in either the Post or the Times, I'm not sure which one. But it's a piece about how this nominee, this Barr, has taken in millions of dollars from corporate America. Oh, but you say, Mike, what's wrong with that? Trump's pick for Attorney General is the latest example of the extent to which the Trump administration is owned outright by corporate America. Tell me somebody, this in spite of Trump's bullshit populist posture. There's no populism about Trump. And I wish media would stop fucking referring to him as a populist. He's not. He's a fascist. God damn. I'm really disappointed. Like I said earlier, there's an awful lot of good writers and journalists out there, and videographers who are doing good work. Oh, absolutely. in a dying republic. They're doing good work. But they got to start using language that clearly defines and explains what's going on. Trump is not a populist any more than Putin is a populist. They are both fascists down to the bottoms of their empty spaces where there should be a soul. The Trump administration is owned by corporate America. Don't forget, I mean, look back at fascism in Europe in the first third of the 20th century. Take a look. Take a look at Spain. Take a look at Italy. Take a look at Germany. Take a look at some of the Middle Eastern countries who slid into fascism because there was no countervailing force to stop them. And take a look at where the corporations fit into that. Especially with the Nazis. There are corporations now that operate freely, who use slave labor, who worked Jews and captured people captured in the countries that the Nazis invaded, worked them to death. Slave labor, worked them to death. Exposed them to machinery that would kill them, toxic substances that would kill them, just like Southern whites did here to Africans. But take a look at what corporations do when the rules are taken away and you have a fascist government that says to you, do whatever you want. And take a look, an historical view of how corporations reacted in the 1920s, 30s, 40s. Just fucking do it. Do it. Don't be ignorant of this stuff. Do it. You've got the whole goddamn world 3-4 clicks away on your computer. Look it up. I keep telling people that the enablers of the Nazis in the middle of Europe was the fucking Catholic Church. When they were not fucking boys up the ass, they were enabling the Nazis to murder 6 million Jews and other people. And there is photographic and video and documented proof of that on the internet. Barr previously served as Attorney General for George Herbert Walker Bush, after which he began a 25-year career in the corporate world. Much of the time was spent as a top lawyer for telecommunications company GTE, and then after GTE's merger with Bell Atlantic to form Verizon. He was the top lawyer for Verizon. Media outlets have focused on William Barr's dedication to the corporate world with a particular focus on the GTE/Verizon days, as well as his roles at Time Warner. He's been a board member there since 2009. And he clashed with the Department of Justice over the proposed Time Warner-AT&T merger. And he worked at Caterpillar. He represented the company in the face of a recent Department of Justice probe. I mean, this guy has been on the other side of Department of Justice investigations into the double dealing and shitty actions of these corporations. Now he's going to be Attorney General. Pretty nice flop. Historically, Barr has been a board member of 3 corporate giants over the past 10 years, according to this piece by Derek Seidman. Time Warner. Also, Dominion Energy. From 2009 to the present, a board member. Dominion Energy. Another massive polluter. And Oak Ziff Capital. I don't know anything about them. But what do you want to bet? That they're the type of hedge fund or capital manipulators who put thousands of people out of work when they buy companies and dismember them and sell off the pieces and say to the workers, fuck you, goodbye. As a director in these companies, Barr has raked in over nearly $5 million during the past decade in cash payments and stock options, and very close to $1 million more than that since 3 of his recent years of compensation, so far undisclosed, but probably run in the area of $300,000 a year based on precedent. And of course, this calculation doesn't take into account gains that Barr may have seen from increases in the value of his company's stock rewards over the past decade during the stock market boom, yada, 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 yada. The piece says that, moreover, his directorship in these 3 firms, all powerhouses across their respective sectors of mass media, energy, and finance, convey the scope of his commitment to corporate America. Corporate America, that as the nation's top law enforcement officer, he'll be tasked with overseeing. Can't you see corporate America just toasting themselves tonight? Can you fucking believe this? We got Barr in there. Ah! Dominion Energy is an energy and utilities powerhouse based in Virginia that is expanding further across the U.S. from New York to South Carolina. It's the biggest stakeholder in the controversial Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Now, Barr is on the board of directors. That's a 600-mile pipeline that will transport fracked gas across West Virginia, and North Carolina. I read this stuff about how closely captured the new Attorney General is, willingly captured by corporate America. And I can't help but be freaked out. I mean, what the fuck? Do we want, as the Attorney General of the United States, someone who is tasked with enforcing federal law? Do we want that person to be someone who is part of, and has been for 25 years since he left the H.W. Bush administration, part of corporate America that is killing everything? How do you think he'll rule? Oh, he'll be fair. I'm sure he'll put all of his ownings in a blind trust. All told, Barr took in $4,415,797 from these board memberships since 2009. And again, that's not counting his compensation from 2017 and 2018 for Time Warner and 2018 for Dominion, the sum of which would likely add another million or so to the total. Taken together, here's a concluding couple of sentences. Taken together, all this raises significant concerns over conflicts of interest and questions over whether Barr will provide adequate oversight of the corporate world that he served so devoutly and profited from so handsomely in recent years. What do you think, Truth Seeker? For example, the Wall Street Journal quotes Gene Kimmelman, the former chief counsel for the Justice Department's Antitrust Division, who now leads a consumer advocacy group. Sure as fuck not going to work for Trump. This guy said of Barr, quote, "We are particularly concerned that he could interfere with strong antitrust enforcement involving telecom or similar mergers, enabling further dangerous consolidation of essential broadband and media services," end quote. This is the new Attorney General. Oh, he was also a board member of one of the most polluting corporations in America. That would be Wholesome U.S. and Aggregate Industries Management. Those are cement companies. They make cement. Anyway, none of that matters. It doesn't constitute an anchor on Barr's feet to keep him from moving into the Justice Department's Office of Attorney General. Consider him confirmed. It doesn't make any difference what is turned up. As long as the Republicans control the Senate, Supreme Court justices that Trump nominates will be confirmed. Cabinet members that Trump nominates will be confirmed. Every fucking evil that Trump wants to commit will not be challenged by these cowardly punks known as Republican senators. Nothing that Trump will do. Trump could climb on top of Mitch McConnell's wife and wail away, and McConnell would not say a goddamn word. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.